And all of a sudden one day, mixed martial arts came, and my promoter from ESPN asked if I would fight MMA. And in 2006, I did my first MMA fight. 2008, I won the world title, and now I fight for the UFC. So actually, in 2012, November, I fought Rich Franklin here, got my biggest and greatest win, that big first round knockout, right hook, and my life pretty much changed a lot after that fight. But before it changed, I came from Vietnam as a refugee a week before the fall of Saigon. And, it was just my mom and her side of the family. And I basically, because my grandfather was like a colonel in the police force. And we were able to get airlifted out instead of going out by boat. So we got airlifted out, ended up in the Philippines, was in a refugee camp for 2 months there. Then from there, the government got us to go to Guam for a month. Then from Guam, we got a sponsor in this city called Monterey. And we lived there for about 2 months, and we moved to San Jose. My grandfather bought a house, and we were that Asian family that we stacked everyone in the house. There was like 12 people to like 3 bedrooms. Of course, my grandfather and my grandmother had their own room. So between 12 of us, we shared 2 rooms. And basically growing up from middle school to the beginning of my high school, I was always picked on. Always, people used to, like, every name like Nip, Gook, Chink. That was like my name instead of my name Cung. Hey Nip, move out of the way. Hey Nip, go pick that up for me. After a while, I got tired of it. Started fighting back. Someone used to try to bully me. I would be the one throwing the first punch. And from that, I believe from that fire, I grew up, and I used that fire to inspire me in whatever I did. And I started out wrestling first. Then I got back into martial arts. Because I can't really count when I was younger doing martial arts, because I was never consistent, because my mom had to work 3 jobs too, and didn't get me to practice on time. So now, I had something consistent like wrestling. But after I was done, I went back to martial arts. I stuck with it. And here I am today, still fighting for the UFC. I had an elbow injury 6 weeks before the Rich Franklin fight. I had surgery. I came here, I won the fight, came back to finish my surgery, and had elbow surgery on the other elbow. So I had 3 surgeries in 4 months' time. And now I feel good, I'm back, but I'm also doing movies. It's because I never gave up hope. I always kept, when I was wrestling, I used to drive this van, and I used to load crates for this company called Lemon Twitch at Great America. And that was like my first job. And now I fight for the best promotion in the world, which is UFC. Get to fight the best fighters in Frank Shamrock, Vanderlei Silva, Patrick Cote, and then Rich Franklin. So the whole thing is, I kept my faith. When I felt like I was at the bottom, I didn't care. Because every day that I wake up, I look up and there's a roof over my head. And now with my kids, I'm able to put food on the table and make sure that I'm a good dad, good parent. And that's what keeps me going now. So I find little things that keep me going. And even though I'm on top, I'm always hungry. I'm always hungry to do more, whether it's being a father, or getting inside the octagon, or doing a small part in a movie or a big part in a movie. I always do everything the same, because that's me as a person. And that whatever embodies my thought process is what I project out there. And the more I project out there, the more people believe because they see me do it. And when they believe, they can do it. All you guys can do it too. You just got to believe. You know, and that's my story. You guys have any questions?
How long do you train?
I do nutrition day. Like every day or?
Every day, yeah. How long?
If it's for a training camp before a fight,
Yeah, before fight. Yeah.
2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night. And then the next day, I would just do half day. So it's like one full day with 2 workouts, the next day is half day. Next day, 2 days, and sometimes I go 3 days on and 1 day off. It just depends on how you change your workouts. The key thing is when you're working out, if you're doing the same thing every day, your body's gonna get used to it. And you don't want your body to get used to it. You want to confuse your body, confuse your muscle. So after a week, your body already knows, this is what he's gonna do. After the second week, if you don't feel sore anymore, you have to change up your routine. Confuse your muscles. And when you confuse your muscle, you get more, you get more out of your muscles. So that's the key thing, is never let your body adapt to a regular workout.
Okay.
Do you smoke?
I don't smoke. No. I have wine occasionally. I eat a lot of chocolate, but before fights, I cut it back. And I love pizza. But I have to train a lot, and I always give myself a couple cheat days. I used to say one cheat meal, but I can't just do one cheat meal a week. I have to do the whole day cheating. You know, chocolate, pizza. Then the next day I just burn it off and get back on track.
So when I read about yourself, before you were in Taekwondo black belt, right?
Yeah, I had a black belt in Taekwondo.
But how you manage after that the boxing in the Taekwondo?
Yeah, I mean, even at that time, before I started Taekwondo, I was already wrestling. So from wrestling, I went to Taekwondo, then I went to Muay Thai, then I did Sanda, which is the Chinese style kickboxing. And then when mixed martial arts got popular, I started training mixed martial arts. And the great thing about mixed martial arts is it's the evolution of martial arts. There's your traditional, and there's your regular, kind of Krav Maga, self-defense stuff. But then the top of the food chain is mixed martial arts, because it's like you're inside the octagon. 2 guys step in, and there's only going to be one winner. And there's less rules than any other fighting system. You can punch, you can kick, you can knee, you can submit the guy standing or on the ground. You can punch the guy, knee the guy on the ground. So mixed martial arts is the highest level of fighting. And there's so many ways to win, but there's also so many ways to lose. So that's why I love mixed martial arts, because it's a challenge, and I love to challenge myself in everything I do. Whether if one day, my wife asked me to cook something, I want my cooking to be better than hers. So I'm competitive that way. That's it.
So every day, how many miles you jogging? A long run and a short run?
Actually, I don't run anymore because it's bad for my knees, but I do sprints, and I do like VersaClimber or rolling machine or elliptical, but I do everything intervals. I either do a 1 minute on, 30 second off, 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off. And I have this thing that it's the last round when I have 5 more minutes to go. I call it 10-20s. I rest for 10 seconds and I sprint for 20 seconds. I rest for 10 seconds and I sprint for 20 seconds. I do that for 5 minutes. And I get off and I check my heart rate, about 170. And I either stretch out or I start shadow boxing while my heart rate's high, or I lower my heart rate by stretching, cooling down.
So that 5 minutes without rest?
No rest. Yeah. But that's only 1 round. I do 5 rounds.
You sprint.
Yeah, of sprints.
So I was wondering, do you know the relationship what has India
Yeah.
last fight?
No, he said he's coming back.
He's coming back again.
Yeah. And you see Anderson Silva, greatest champion, loses his first fight, breaks his leg and gets second fight. I would say that's a loss, even though he did lose, but you don't know what would have happened if the match would have went the whole 25 minutes. It could have been, the tables could have changed, but we don't know. But for someone like that, he's not going to give up. And I respect that, because he could say, I made enough money. I have a lot in the bank. I'm going to retire. But he's not. What he's going to do is he's going to come back and he's going to try to prove it to himself that he can recover from that injury and go back out there and compete. Whether he wins or lose, I believe he's doing it for himself, for something that he needs to do, because he doesn't want to go out that way. If he loses, he's just going to lose because he lost, not because he broke his leg and lost. And that's how I would go out too. So every time I step inside the octagon, if the other guy beats me, every time I step in, I know the only way I'm going to lose is they got to carry me out on my shield. That means they got to knock me out. Or I'm going to be there until the last second fighting.
So, sir, how you feel in your 20s and 40s? It seems like your instinct is same.
No, I feel like now it's harder to recover, but the good thing about that is when I was in my 20s, I didn't know what I know about that with diet, training, and being smart about everything that I do as I was in my 40s. So I overtrained when I was in my 20s. So I didn't feel as good as I do now because I'm always tired and I trained too much and I didn't let my body recover. But now, knowing what I know, as soon as my muscle burns, I stop, go get a massage, or take an Epsom salt bath and take the rest of the day off and stretch. Then the next day I feel good again.
So still how many years we can see you?
One fight at a time, every day I wake up is a blessing. So you never know. But when you wake up, that's a gift in itself. You've been blessed with another day. So what you do in that day, make sure you do it to your fullest and your best.
All the best to you.
Yes.
When is your next match?
Maybe August. I won't be fighting in March. They already got their main event here. I got a few movies I gotta do, and then always got that heart. But if I don't feel like I'm ready, I'm not gonna get back in there. I have to know it with myself, know in my heart, my mind that I'm ready to fight, then I'll fight. Cool. All right, guys.